alligator that we have in our enclosure. He is actually this big guy sitting in the water over here. So we'll come over and talk about him a little bit. Hi, big guy. Oh. So he is actually this big guy right here. Here, buddy. Come say hi, big guy. There he is. So tip of his nose is right there. A very impressive animal. Now, being that he is the largest alligator in here, he's also the dominant male in the enclosure until I walk through that door. I just see a lot of phones like, yeah, he's gonna die. All right. So let's go ahead and open up these jaws. Okay. All right, so take a look inside that alligator's mouth. You will actually see 80 teeth in there. There are 40 teeth on the top and 40 teeth on the bottom. So come here, big guy. Bam, explain.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you're looking at my channel from. Whatever time you're looking at my channel, guys, it is Saturday, June 29th, and I am on another adventure. I am going amongst the alligators in the Everglades. I was going to Everglades University. That's the university I went to. But the Everglades of Florida is really a swamp area. And yes, I cannot continuously look at my screen because I'm driving. Guys, my name is Stefan. My YouTube channel is I am Stefan. Actually, I am _ Stefan. And Stefan is spelled STEPH. Guys, let's get it on. That means ON. So again, I'm on my way to the Everglades and to go and hang out with the alligators, and let's see where that takes us. I am trailing behind this beautiful green machine. Might as well call it Hulk, right? This is actually a McLaren. As a matter of fact, it's a McLaren 720. And on top of that, it's a S. So that S means supercharge. So can you only imagine how fast this car is? Well, I wish it was mine. So just to give you a little preface, the Everglades is wide open area with swamp, marsh, snakes, frogs, alligators, birds, rats. You can find everything there. But I went on an Airboat ride before one time, and it was epic. And that company went out of business because the gentleman, I think he lost a limb, and he didn't want to do it anymore. So here I am going with a different company. So I apologize, the phone is going up and down, I'm driving. So yes, guys, the Everglades, it's, as far as your eyes can see, it's all marsh, swamp, and not the safest place, but the companies that goes over there use safety precaution, and that's where we are. So that's just to give you a little rundown of what the Everglades swamp is. We are currently in the Bondies, and there's not much civilization over here, as you can tell. There's a few motorcycles in the front, but I am about 5 miles away from the Everglades Park. I should say the Everglades Holiday Park. I have officially reached the park and I don't know what to expect. So join me on this journey. Yes guys, I've officially reached, and as you can see I was greeted with a peacock. So let's go see what the park entails. Yes guys, I got my ticket, I got my wristband, and guys, not many people here. I guess all of us had the same thought in mind. These orange tents here is where I'll be boarding the boat. I didn't bring bug repellent. Maybe that was not a smart idea, but how beautiful the place are. So I seen some folks is coming off of the boat right now. So I'll just give you a preview of how many boats is waiting to take folks over. Look at that.
Did Juan get the thing yet? Yeah, that was.
Look how cool this is. It looks like aluminum embedded into the concrete. That is pretty cool. These are different type of birds that is found in this area. And look what we have here. Wow, that is beautiful. There goes 3 peacocks, actually 4. Actually, it's 3 babies and a mother. And that is one of the boats coming in right now. It actually may be leaving. And that is a fisherman over there. How you doing? But this is incredible. All the wildlife that is found in this area. Guys, Florida is beautiful. The weather, it gets a little hot sometimes, but it's beautiful. There's so much things to do in Florida, and I should be taking more advantage of it. But with work schedule, time is limited in Florida for me. So, but guys, let's go on this journey.
How old are the kids? How old are the kids? They're both 4 and 7.
We are about to embark on this journey, guys. I don't know what to expect because whatever you saw yesterday or the day before, I can guarantee you you're not gonna see it today. But guys, let's go.
Okie dokie. Welcome one and all far and wide to the Florida Everglades. You guys picked a very good window here at Holiday Park to view the gateway to the Everglades. By the time we're done, you'll have a pretty good purview of the layout and the landscape and what's going on around you. Try to unlock some of the mysteries. Seriously, people, ask me what is the Everglades all the time, but nobody ever asks me what is a forest. Well, we're gonna find out together.
New Orleans.
Years ago.
I always start out with some introductions. These guys over here on the right are my fine feathered friends. These are the double-crested cormorants. They're fun to watch. They're kind of the comedians of the duck family. Their diet is fish. So they swim on top of the water, and when they see a school of fish, they dive 35 miles an hour. Now, we're going to get this boat up to 35 miles an hour. Just imagine that bird right there swimming underwater as fast as we are on top of the water. Here comes another cormorant going to join his buddies. Those guys inhabit Vulture Island right along with the vultures. They cohabitate. And the vultures leave the island one at a time. This isn't one of ours. This is a tour guide, aka huge nuisance. This is our runway, everybody. That is our island dead ahead. Now, let me forewarn you, it is going to get loud. Let's go! Now the majority of our birds are actually migratory. The vultures and the ospreys are, but a few ospreys and a few vultures stayed behind this year. I have no idea why. Sometimes they do that. We like to take this island specifically so you guys, we can kind of break it down for you. Vulture Island is home and host to a family of 40 vultures that have been coming back here year after year to the same exact location for about the last 40 years. You guys came at the end of mating season, which is why you saw that baby gator over there. About 6 weeks ago, 35 to 40 baby vultures hatched for this island, so the next generation has arrived. Right now we are in one of the channels. We're gonna make a U-turn and head into the Everglades, get a little deeper inside there. Now the vultures, the scavengers that they are, we have so much wildlife. When something expires here in South Florida, those guys are on that task helping us clean it up, so they're not pesky animals. They're definitely welcome here. Now's a good time to put on your exploration goggles, everybody. Look down below the surface of the water. Look on the riverbanks, look in the sawgrass. Look in the treetops, look in the sky, look in the sawgrass, everywhere. Some things you see maybe 6 inches, some things you see maybe 6 feet. And you never know what, when, where, if you're gonna see something. The key to exploration is patience. We're going to come around this corner and around here, and the view is going to open up a little bit so you can get a really good grasp of the landscape. So this big, beautiful ecosystem that we're in here, guys, what I'm going to do is break it down into a couple of microsystems so that you kind of understand how all the systems work together symbiotically for the one common goal, which is the water below us. So the first system is definitely the islands, bird sanctuaries, but all these birds have to eat. So some birds eat fish, like the cormorant, the osprey, the eagle, the anhinga, and some birds eat dead bodies, like those scavenger vultures. And some birds eat worms and flowers and seeds, and those are the guys that help promote the health and the growth of the Florida Everglades. So the second system I'll tell you about is this low-lying vegetation here. It's called spatterdock. It looks like lily pads. Spatterdock. Spatterdock can feed up to 180 species of birds, because if you were to snap off that leaf, at the top of the stem lives a great big worm. It also produces these yellow flowers that you see. Those birds like to eat those flowers for proteins. All the flowers have seeds. Now the stems of the spatterdock are rooted into the riverbed. So the length of the stem is about the same as the depth of the water. Now 2 weeks ago, we had an epic 1,000-year flood. The water in the Everglades rose about 2 feet. All the spatterdock, all of it, was underwater. So some of our birds were actually displaced for a little while, going to seek food elsewhere. They're slowly returning as the water dissipates inch by inch, day by day. Yep, it changed the landscape. It was pretty weird. I'd never seen anything like it. I wanted to bring you guys over here and show you some of the vultures. They're big birds, everybody. They're standing on the side of the road, scavenging some roadkill. They're big enough to look right inside your car window.
Oh, there, look, there. Right there, that bird.
That's really neat. When they return in the evening, they fly over top of the island till everybody's home, and then they land in a pecking order one by one. Our second speed zone. It's much shorter. We're going to take it just straight ahead to an area we call Shiner Hole, and then I'll tell you about the third system, which will be the sawgrass and how important it is. Here we go.
It may have appeared that the boat wasn't moving fast, but I can assure you this airboat is really, really fast. Not to mention it's loud, but it was a very pleasant ride.
Now we could hop on this trail and take this trail 99 miles to the other side of the state. We'd end up on the Gulf Coast side in a little itty bitty town called Naples, Florida. That tells you how wide the Everglades spans. It spans from coast to coast and from almost the middle of the state straight down to the bottom of the mainland. At the bottom of the mainland, you guys, that is where the subtropical parallel line runs through it. That makes this the only subtropical wilderness in the entire world, and you are in it. So you guys, the body of water that we are on right now is a river. It's a living, breathing, naturally flowing river. It's classified as a river of grass. The source of water for this river comes from the center of the state of Florida, in the second largest lake in the United States. That lake is called Lake Okeechobee. That's a Seminole Indian tribal name meaning big water. So that water flows south down the Kissimmee River until it reaches the Everglades. It pours into the Everglades. Now the sawgrass does its job. It cleans, rinses, and detoxifies all this water, enabling all this vegetation, all this gator life, fish life, turtle life, wildlife to live, eat, breathe, thrive, and survive, all because of the sawgrass. The sawgrass also provides the water with fresh oxygen and nutrients. And then here the water runs south again until it finds the Atlantic Ocean. It collides with that salt water, and that combustion created a living coral reef in Key Largo, Florida, called John Pennekamp Park. It's the only living coral reef in the United States, and it would not be there without the sawgrass. I'm going to take you guys to the exterior side of the island, show you what that looks like. These riverbanks. Also, I want to point out these trees that are all twisted and mangled and funny looking. That's just their inner beauty. They're called swamp apple trees. Swamp apple trees produce a fruit. Fruit ripens, fruit falls in the water. Those gators lay under these trees to collect that fruit. This time of day, those gators, they're going to be submerged below the water with just their heads sticking out, just to keep cool. Now, that flood a couple weeks ago, all this spatterdock was underwater. So some of the birds' nests that have low-lying nests, they're slowly returning, rebuilding. It is mating season, so when they're born black, then they turn brown, and they don't get their colors for about 24 weeks. But this is one of the babies. Hopefully we'll be able to see mom and dad somewhere around. By the time it's all said and done, they'll have every color of the rainbow in their body. It's really, really cool. About the swamp apple, you know that those apples aren't for human consumption, but these purple flowers, they're for, you can eat those, you can put those in your survival gear. The stems are edible, and if you actually shake the seeds off of the purple petals, then those seeds actually taste like popcorn. Here we go. That was really good exploring. Let me turn around. Almost got by me. Where'd he go? There he is on the right. You guys, this is an amazing bird. This is the anhinga right here. They are one of the birds that Their beaks are shaped like spears. They actually spear their fish to death underwater, where the osprey plunges in at about 60 miles an hour, feet first, and grabs the fish with his talons. If you can see the markings on the backs of their wings, it looks like paint's dripping. And if I can get close enough, you guys, you can see that they have blue eyes.
Interesting.
Beautiful. There's two gators. We'll try to go down both sides.
Look, there's two of them. There's one right there, and one right there by their butt.
Now you can tell how big a gator is by trying to guess how many inches between his eyes and his nose. And that looks like 3 inches, so that'll be a 3-foot gator. Be careful sticking out of the window like that. And those ridges on their back, so very important, everybody. Hang on, let me turn the boat around. Sitting on your chest. See guys, there's not a boat coming in. I have time for one more. Give me a thumbs up if you want me to go around one more time.
Yeah!
Alright. Very good.
Everybody's like, yes.
What separates the fresh from the salt is called peat bogs and peat marshes. Peat bogs and marshes collect carbon. #1 request on the planet. And 3, we've got a hugely dense population of mangroves attracting saltwater fish to come into the freshwater to spawn their eggs, later growing up to be great big schools of fish swimming out in the oceans feeding the planet. Now these are swamp apple trees too on both sides. Alright, welcome back to Holiday Park everybody, and I truly hope you enjoyed that. I love to take people out on an eco tour, and I am a huge advocate of staying connected with nature. So spread the word, help us keep it wild. I'm going to dock the boat, I believe, on the right-hand side. So if you're sitting on the right-hand side, please leave your hands inside the boat. Don't try to fend off the dock. The dock's not gonna move. safe travels to each and every one of you. And I want to thank you ahead of time for any tips and gratuities that you leave for myself. It is greatly appreciated, everybody. Us captains, we are in the service industry. It is how we earn a living, so thank you very much.
Guys just came back off the boat and I saw 2 alligators. They were small, 4 feet, 5 feet, but it was epic. Some people go on boat and don't see nothing. So, but I will go ahead and narrate because the motor was so loud. So I'll give you a rundown of what actually transpired.
We work with every single alligator that you see in here, and each of our alligators normally does about 1 or 2 shows a day. That way they can all take turns, don't get stressed or anything like that. Now the largest alligator that we have in our enclosure, he is actually this big guy sitting in the water over here. So we'll come over and talk about him a little bit. Hi, big guy. Oh. So he is actually this big guy right here. Here, buddy. Come say hi, big guy. There he is. So tip of his nose is right there, and tip of his tail comes way back over here. So if I pull up his tail, you'll see that his tail alone is about as big as I am. All right, so this is a very large animal. He is over 10 feet long, weighs over 300 pounds, and he is jacked out of his mind, so I like to call him Arnold Schwarzenegger. He is a very impressive alligator, but unfortunately I'm not using him for your show based on the simple fact of I can't really move him. He's kind of big, but he is a very impressive animal. Now, being that he is the largest alligator in here, he's also the dominant male in the enclosure until I walk through that door. There's a lot of bad jokes here. You gotta work with me, guys. Jokes are going downhill. So I can't use him for your show, so I am going to grab a hold of a different alligator. Like I said, we do rotate them all through, so I am looking for a particular individual. So I'm going to grab a hold of this guy sitting over here. We'll bring him up front so everyone's going to be able to see. Okay. Come here, big guy. That's good. You guys having fun yet? I just see a lot of phones like, yeah, he's gonna die. Alright. So let's go ahead and open up these jaws. Okay. Alright, so take a look inside that alligator's mouth. You will actually see 80 teeth in there. There are 40 teeth on the top and 40 teeth on the bottom. And they can actually break their teeth off, they grow them back, and they cycle through several thousand teeth in their lifetime. Now that does come in handy because of how hard that gator can bite down. A large alligator can close its jaws with an entire ton of force within that mouth. 2,000 pounds per square inch power. Y'all do not seem impressed with that number. Think about that. 2,000 pounds is enough power to easily snap any bone in your weak, fragile human bodies and literally flatten your skull. If you're not impressed by this, it is because y'all are on the wrong side of the glass. Now, even though they can bite down so hard, You can actually hold their jaws shut with just your bare hands, as you can see me doing here. All that power is for closing, very little for actually opening. So remember, if you're ever about to be attacked by an alligator, don't run away. Just turn around, grab the jaws, and you'll do great. Definitely kidding. Run for your life there, guys. But we have all of these alligators in here for a reason, though. We are actually an alligator rescue, and these are all considered to be nuisance alligators that our team rescued. Now, a nuisance alligator is one that showed up in somebody's backyard, got in their swimming pool. He ate Fluffy, something of that. Now, once an alligator does eat somebody's dog, the state is going to send out a trapper to capture and kill the alligator, unless the dog he ate was a Pomeranian, and they just let him go to continue the good work. Now, unfortunately, though, the state of Florida does kill several thousand of our nuisance alligators every year, and that is really sad because it's not the alligator's fault. It's usually a nuisance person who caused the problem, and by that I mean people who feed them. So once you feed him, three things happen. 1, he learns to associate you with the food. 2, you don't have the food. 3, you are the food. And that's why it's against the law to feed them. Now, once an alligator does become a nuisance alligator, by law it has to be either killed or kept in captivity. Therefore, most trappers simply kill and sell the alligators to make money. However, myself and the other team members here are the only strictly non-kill trappers in the state, and therefore, instead of killing the alligators to make money, we volunteer our time to rescue these alligators for free. So what we're doing here, we do our shows with these nuisance alligators instead of him being turned into a handbag, which you appreciate that, right, big guy? He does. As we're considered an alligator rescue, because every single alligator that you see in here would have sadly been destroyed if they were not here with us. Okay, relax, buddy. An alligator wrestling is not like wrestling in a ring. I do not hurt, headlock, or body slam the alligator. It's actually techniques used by the native tribes of Florida. And one of the maneuvers they would use is holding the jaws of the alligator shut between your chin and your chest, allowing your hands to be free to take out a rope and then tie the jaws shut, which sounds like a horrible, dangerous idea, so I'm going to demonstrate it. Now, it does make a pretty cool looking photo, so I give you guys a thumbs up like this, or if it does go horribly wrong, get my arm ripped off and I'm bleeding everywhere, I'll give you a thumbs down, okay? Alright, don't worry, in that scenario, just switch your camera from photo to video and tag me in your post. Alright. So come here, big guy. Relax, buddy. Sometimes people clap. Alright, so that's so they can actually pull that off. Now, I do have one more trick to show you guys, but before I do it, I do want to tell you a little bit about myself too, so you don't think I am completely insane. And you see the stairs out there. I actually have a bachelor's degree in finance and international business from a college in New York. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me either. Over my entire college career, all I really wanted to do was get out of the shark tank and into the gator pit. Now, a phrase that I choose to live by is live your dreams and follow your passion. For my entire life, I've been passionate about reptiles, and especially alligators, and it has been a dream of mine to be an alligator wrestler ever since I was a little kid. So I feel extremely fortunate to have been given this opportunity, and I encourage everybody out there to pursue your wildest dreams, because you never know, they might just come true. Now, that being said, the only way that I'm able to continue to do this job full time is through the generous donations of the people in my audience and you guys. Now, the catch with this job, it's obviously very dangerous, and due to the danger factor, I am not an employee of the park, and instead an unpaid volunteer due to liability and insurance. Liability. That way, if the alligator does rip off my hand and eat it in front of me, no one is technically responsible, and I get a get well soon card. That is literally our health care plan. So at the end of the show, you like the show, you learn about alligators, and like the fact that we're a rescue that saves these guys. I do greatly appreciate anything that goes into my little tip jar down there. That is the only way that I get paid here, and it's also what enables our alligator rescue to function, and what allows us to continue to go out and rescue more of these beautiful and magnificent animals. Now, I do also have to say the not fun part, that I do not attempt anything you've seen me doing here today. I know I might make it look pretty easy, pretty safe to be in a pit full of alligators and they handle one, but the reality is, one slip, one wrong move, you can lose life or limb. I feel very fortunate. I've had a lot of close calls, never had a bad accident, but I have a few friends who did. I had one friend get hit in the hand during a show, Gator death rolled, snapped his arm like a twig. Had another friend get hit in the upper arm during a show, Gator death rolled, ripped the bicep muscle from the bone, ate the chunk of his arm during the show. Now that was obviously very serious. He almost died from blood loss, but I'm not saying this to be dramatic or to scare you guys. I see it so you understand the reality here. I tell a lot of jokes, and then people tend to forget this is a powerful apex predator that is of our utmost respect. Don't ever approach wanting to ever try this. But that being said, take a look around me. All right, these are not aggressive animals. They're not going to come chasing after you. They're not going to hunt you down. But other than they're pretty cute, they pretty much just sleep all day. They're the laziest things on earth. But when people feed them, swim in their habitat, or trying to handle them like this, that's exactly if people get hurt or even killed. So don't do any of those three things and you'll be fine. You'll leave them alone and they'll leave you alone. Now on that note of positivity, let's go ahead and do the most dangerous part of the show. What could possibly go wrong, right? So the last trick I have for you guys is called the face-off. It's called the face-off because if I mess it up, my face comes off. You need a dark sense of humor, guys. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to open up the jaws of the alligator. I'm going to set my chin on the end of the open jaw, balancing the jaws up with just my chin. And if anything touches inside the mouth, boom, jaws slam shut. I mean, it leaves a reflex, and nothing stops the jaws from closing. So we need to be very careful here. All right, now one last piece of anatomy I want to point out quick in case you see this fat roller getting down here. That's not fat, that's the jaw muscle. An alligator can eventually have over 50 pounds of muscle solely dedicated to slamming its jaws shut and then crushing anything that's in between them. So that puts this in perspective a little bit. So let's give this a shot. Alright, now most of my show is a lot of bad jokes. I don't want you guys to laugh, have a good time, learn about alligators. This is one part of the show that is actually extremely dangerous. So before I do it, I want a little bit of motivation. You guys are enjoying the show, right? Alright, I'm just checking. Okay, relax, buddy. Calm down, big boy. Okay. Let's try that again. Yeah, give an alligator some applause. Good job, buddy. Not too shabby, good guy. Not too shabby. Now you can see that alligator just gets up and walks away. He doesn't turn around and come after me. There's no revenge, no hard feelings, and like that shows none of it all. And he is literally going to lay there and take a nap after all the hard work that he did. So again, my name is Kevin. If you guys have any questions for me, I'll be standing strategically by my tip jar with a card reader, Venmo, Cash App, and Zelle. Guys, still the show and have fun? Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it, guys. Happy day, everyone. We're going to get out right this way whenever you're ready.
I actually thought it was fake.